I fucking hate grizzly bears now. Like with a vengeance. Like I hate them.
Yeah. People like, oh, wolves only kill the sick and the weak and the old.
Bullshit.
Okay. They're
Bullshit.
killers, man. And
It's
they're
all
good
bullshit.
at it.
Yeah,
and I
it's all
respect them
bullshit.
for it. Yeah.
Those are people talking shit about something they don't know.
Yeah.
You know, here I was actually gone when the thing happened and the biologist came, and the trapper, the state trapper came to investigate the situation. And they're like, nah, it couldn't be bear. I'm like, was it a fairy? Like, what was it? I mean, it wasn't a cougar.
Mm-hmm.
The claw mark, claw to claw, was over 7 inches.
Oh.
Like, what do you think it was? Was it a wolf? No, it wasn't a wolf. Wolves don't claw.
Right.
Like, just blew my mind. And at the end of the day, I'm just like, yeah, you love your grizzly bears. I get it. But don't freaking lie about shit.
So did they reimburse you or no? They said no, it wasn't a grizzly?
Well, the trapper agrees that he thinks it's a grizzly bear. And in fact, he had just had to trap and kill one last year, 2 air miles from us. So he thinks and he did the investigation, he did the report, and then they send that into a board, and then they go over everything and decide whether or not we'll get reimbursed. And you can see that.
Oh my gosh. I'm looking at a picture of the claw marks, like, and that's your hand there?
That's my hand.
And you're not a small guy. I mean, you're over.
I don't have giant hands, but here's there's bite marks on the leg, but there's a measurement of it. It's like 7.5 inches from claw mark, end of claw to end of claw. Yeah. And the biologist's like, well, we don't know that that's grizzly. What? Was it an alien? Like, are we going to go back to the alien thing?
Yeah.
It's frustrating. It's extremely frustrating to have to deal with that. But
come on now. I know you hate them, but as a conservationist, you see that there's a place for them on the landscape.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yes, I do agree. It's cool that we have grizzly bears here. It's cool that we have wolves. It's neat. If I could push a button that would remove them both again, I'd probably push that button.
Wow.
But the reason is because we don't live at the same time that they flourished here in North America. This is not the same place. It's not the same time. We're living on limited resources. And so basically what it boils down to is, what do you want on the landscape? Do you want elk and deer, which is what us humans, that's what we go after. Like, that's what we want to consume. Or do you want to have bears and wolves?
One funds conservation, the other one takes away from it.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to say as a conservationist. Hey, we want these things, but also, wow, they really screw things up for what funds conservation.
The population is tenfold more. The landscape has changed dramatically. We have settled everything. We've settled all the habitat, and now our tolerance for deer and elk are even less. They used to, deer and elk are plains animals, and so were bears and wolves. Like, we've driven all of these animals to the mountains, basically. There's always been the transition of winter and summer ground, right? But essentially, we've driven elk into areas that they didn't used to inhabit because we've consumed their habitat. Well, we're wanting to bring these predators back to where they were historically, but the habitat's not there. And so we've driven them into these mountain ranges. And so now the deer and elk can't escape because they don't have the habitat to escape to. And they don't have the escape abilities that they had back in the day. So we've driven them into a micro ecosystem, basically, and the predators are having their way with them. And so Bob Marshall is a prime example, because it's not what it was pre-wolf. It's not what it was pre-grizzly bear. So that in itself is a problem. This isn't apples to apples. We're not comparing, the late 1800s to now. They're not the same. It's different. It just is. And so, but we want it to be the same now, and it's not. It can't be.
It won't ever be.
Then you throw in that we want to protect these animals, and the reason they're chewing on people is because they don't respect people. They're not afraid of people. So it's like they want their cake and eat it too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't personally, even though I'm a conservationist, believe in animal conservation and all that, I don't think I should be scared for my life every time I step into the woods. I don't think I should have to worry about taking my kids and my grandkids into the woods for fear of being eaten by a grizzly bear. It should not be a fear.
Yeah.
And so that's why I feel the way I do. Now as a rancher, I'm really freaking pissed, you know? And it wouldn't piss me off so much if the folks that are responsible for managing them would admit, hey, yeah, one of the grizzly bears got your bison, you know, and it's not even like replacing my animal or writing me a check like that is even less of a concern. But you know, the trapper called and says, hey, I'm thinking about bringing a trap out. And I'm like, I wouldn't bother because I see that son of a bitch and I'm going to shoot it. And, well, you can't do that. Well, I'm going to. I don't care what you say.
Right.
I will shoot that son of a bitch. And it's back to our early conversation, you know, doing something that, oh, it's illegal, but is it wrong?
Right.
Is it wrong for me to want to protect my livestock, my family? These livestock are my family.
Mm-hmm.
Is that wrong for me to want to do that? It's illegal, but is it wrong?
I think people get confused about who the real apex predator is. Like,
yeah, right.